The people have spoken again. In this episode, we take who will hopefully prove to be a franchise cornerstone for us with the number one overall pick. We also look to overcome what was an absolutely horrific start, especially in comparison to what we had in the first run of the first draft. Before we get in to the meat and potatoes of this episode, I of course do want to get to a couple of your comments. For future reference, I would draft players you actually scout. Trust draft stories. Hey, you shouldn't have trusted draft stories. I'm going to go back to drafting like I did in Buffalo, because that seemed to work out relatively okay. So, draft stories, no draft stories. I'm just going to go with my gut. With the exception, of course, of these first picks where it makes sense to have you guys vote. So there is that. The missing pick, the Cardinals traded that pick IRL to the Browns. Thank you for letting me know, because I legitimately didn't know that. So that is quite helpful to know. It cuts out a little bit of the stress I had. It does suck that we have one less draft pick this year, but there's that. You can import a draft class, just press left stick. We don't need to. Again, did that with the Buffalo series. Didn't want to do it for this one. So there is that. Why'd you take two unknowns over solid wide receivers? Again, draft stories. Because people are like, oh my god, you gotta trust draft stories. So there's that. Please start another series on Twitch with the Chargers again. Time will tell. Time will tell. We have options as far as, if this series does well, what happens next afterwards. There is that. I do want to get right down to business, because there was a lot of debate over take this guy, take this guy, take this quarterback, don't take a quarterback. And then we have the voting results, where, as it turns out, we're taking a quarterback. That's what I meant by the franchise. There are some strong options, but the people have voted, and Joey McCormack out of Tennessee will hopefully be the man to lead us for the next 15 years, and hopefully to a decent amount of success. He won the vote by a very wide margin. At the time that I'm looking at this, 29% of the vote. Nobody else had higher than 9%. Joey McCormack's our guy. Let's not waste any time. Let's do this. Joey McCormack is star potential at 21 years old, the 82 overall. So he is second in true talent. We take him at number one, but again, a star quarterback, as if there was any doubt. That cannon of an arm. Needs to improve on the deep accuracy, the awareness, but yeah, Joey McCormack is going to be something special. There is the debate, of course, that people will continue to have, whether or not it was the right call to take a quarterback now. Maybe it would have been better to take somebody else and just get whatever quarterbacks remained in the second round. But again, the people spoke. The quarterback we take. Let's see who else goes here. Roman Stone was an 80. I'm going to go ahead and skip. We will go back and take a look at some of the high-rated players, of course, development patterns as well. Let's see who is still available here. So yeah, case in point, for quarterbacks, you do still have 5 players that were projected. So that was the debate, but at the very least, we did take someone who was top of the board. Now, hell, would Joey McCormack have been there if we waited? There is a chance, but again, the people have spoken. So Shaun Baker. Shaun Baker's an interesting one where he did not compete in the combine, which is normally a good indication of someone being very good. The problem is we already took Hughes in the first year draft. So we'll see who else is available. CJ Scuda, Scott Jarrett, and DeMarco Ivory all available. We don't have a single wide receiver right now. Tight end, no one that we'd want to take here in the second round. Is there anybody else who's overly interesting or fell out of the first round? Mitchell Renays, I believe it would be, who's not that bad. Strong, agile, could be worth it. We only have one member of the defensive line. You have Garrett Mann, Tyrone Vaughn, and Ivory Todd. Tremendous names. Anybody else? Rashawn Ashmore, who's also looking pretty damn good. The speed, it's not amazing. The agility and the strength, of course, looking pretty damn good. Barry Gresham, Barry Gresham, University of Maine Black Bear, looking pretty ridiculous. There's also Griffin Beekman, who intrigues me due to his lack of participation in the combine. Gresham's an interesting one at 23 years old. We at least have some good options. You got Reggie Parker, Kyrie Griffith, and that is looking like it's it for the moment. So, in terms of who we take here, because there was a decent linebacker later on in the draft, and because there should be room to get another O-lineman, or defensive lineman, I should say, later on, I think we look at these wide receivers first and foremost. Is there anybody that I'm really set on? CJ Scuda, 21 years old. The speed's okay. The agility is a bit weak. Great route runner, though. Scott Jarrett, late first-round talent. Again, not all that fast. Decent agility. 6'5", though. Doesn't have a crazy vert jump. And DeMarco Ivory. Speed and agility. Decent vert jump, though, at 6'3". I don't know if I'm really sold on any of them, to be honest. I mean, route running is the specialty. Ivory has great hands, at the very least. I'm just not sold on that speed and agility. To be honest, that is a tough one. That is a tough one. I was hoping that there would be one who's just undeniable to take, but I don't think that's the case. I gotta be honest. I feel like Gresham might be the best player available. I know he's 23, but I feel like Gresham might be the guy. You also have Griffith, who is looking pretty good as well. Late second rounder. Good speed. Great. Oh, that vert jump at 6'4". Jesus. We do have McIntosh, who was a swing and a miss, but Griffith could be the real deal. DeJuan Fitzgerald. Oh, boy. A wide receiver. Griffith, who's looking great. I mean, I guess it's the question of how many safeties were there. Gresham, Griffith, or a wide receiver. I really like Gresham, but I feel like Beekman's going to be great. I'm going to go with my gut on this one, and it might not be the popular choice to pass on a wide receiver, and I get that. But I feel like there's going to be an opportunity to get somebody better than one of those three. Like, I'm not 100% dead set. I'm going to go with my gut on this one, and it's a risk. I'm going with Griffith. I'm going to go with Griffith, and I need to hope that he has a good development pattern. Please. Okay. Well, this risky approach at drafting is not quite going my way now, is it? Now, on the bright side, he could go up to quick development because he's 21 years old. But, yeah. Yeah, that is rough. We can just look at the safety core right now, and it's just a monument to my mistakes in the draft. What happened? I started off so strong with the first, technically the second episode, which was our first draft the first time around, and now it's like self-sabotage at this point. I'm not even trying to. My God, those quarterbacks are still available, huh? Yikes. Wow, they're all still available. All right, so no running back we're going to consider at this point. The wide receivers are off the board, and obviously it'll be very interesting to see if we should have taken one of them. We probably should have. Santoris Hicks, decent speed, agility, but decent hands and good route running. Jordan Martin, I got to be honest, I need to see if someone's available here. We go to middle linebacker. Oh my God, the middle linebacker's off the board. How to botch a draft with one simple pick. Wow. How to botch a draft with one simple pick. Holy hell. You know, the best part of this is, too, it's an online draft, so even if I wanted to cheat it and back up and redo it, I can't. Marcus Farrell. Looking pretty damn good. Good speed, good agility, decent height, strong vert jump, 21 years old. The catching not being in the top 3 is a bit concerning, but I'm probably going with him out of any wide receivers. We also have Ramon Christian, who is looking okay, but I don't know if I'd want to take a tight end at this stage. You have Ray Palmer for the offensive line. We don't have any members of the offensive line. The reps are, the bench press is way too low, especially for someone who's not agility-based. Roy Wire is agility-based, but he has better strength. So Wire wouldn't be that bad. Henry Amy, Jesus, I know you're a speed rusher, and you're great at that, but I don't know, man. Those reps, I'd like to see him be a little bit higher. We have Brooks and Rashawn Grant also still available. Brooks is a beast in terms of speed and agility. Solid strength as well. Damn, Brooks looks pretty damn good. And Rashawn Grant, not so much. I'm actually just going to take him off the list. Terrence Grayson as well, looking pretty good. The reps are a bit low. And Trey Hasty, which is a great name. Okay, so I trust that Demetrios Brooks could be pretty damn strong. Ballantyne, which is an amazing name. The vert jump leaves a bit to be desired. Tad bit, but he's also not that bad. He'd go well alongside Cole. I don't think I need to botch it on another safety at this point. So, comes down to Marcus Farrell. Sure, yeah, it would be Farrell. I've seen that pronounced Farrell that way too. Comes down to Marcus Farrell. Or Brooks. And I gotta be honest, I mean, we need a wide receiver at this point. So, I'm gonna go with Marcus Farrell out of Southern Arkansas. And he is a 75, so 47th in true talent. We get him at 65. Normal development, he's 21 years old. Again, has a chance to go up to quick development, so I'm not totally upset about seeing normal. Of course, you can't really see the acceleration. The catching was about a 78, so looking pretty good, admittedly. 84 kick return as well, so we can get him some extra XP in that way. I need to redeem myself in a big-time way with these last few picks. I have to. It's still going to be viewed as a bad draft. Oh my God, Brooks is still there, yes. So Graham Bulaga, I mean, just no. We're not even going to bother. Probably not going to bother. Oh, actually, let me go back and look at Bulaga. Just to make sure. You never know. Almost hit the wrong button and almost drafted him. You want to talk about completely botching it. So let's see. For a fullback, Stelz is available, but I'm not really concerned. Jordan Martin, still available. So wide receivers, still an option. Ray Palmer, still an option, but again, with the reps, not really convinced. Is there anybody else outside of Demetrius? I got to go for Brooks. I'm going to do it right now. Demetrios Brooks is only a 74. I mean, okay, maybe I'm wrong, but I kind of expected him to be a little bit better. I know he was 23, but damn. 75th in true talent, we get him at 97. Normal development for the 23-year-old. Huh. Man, okay. I mean, we'll see, of course, how the other teams are drafting at this point. We're, on the bright side, at least getting options that are going to help the team. But in terms of, like, my God, we're so stacked. Like, no. It's not the case at all. We got a couple of wide receivers still. Who else is available? Nobody else on the offensive line. So the O-line is still going to be entirely consisting of just flat-out terrible players. It's got to be another wide receiver here. As much as I'd like to take Rasmussen, because I think he'll be 1,000 times better than Chandler, who we already have, I can't risk it right now. So Steven Jenkins out of Iowa. Solid speed, solid agility as a deep threat. 6'1" as well. I think he's probably the guy to go for. We'll look at Frank Bean. Not really digging it. And what about Shawnee Sheard? Not really digging it. He's not bad, though. Let's go for Steven Jenkins here, who is also normal development. Jesus. 106th in true talent. We get him at 129 to 73 overall. He is rapid. We just need to actually turn him into a bit of a route runner. 83 kick return. For Mr. Jenkins, we do not have a 6th round pick, so we head to the 7th round, and we'll see what we get here. I'm not sure if I'm optimistic or what at this point. It's a scary, scary place to be. Rasmussen is still there. He's the last player left on my draft board. So, yeah, we're going to do that, and we'll take whoever's better out of the kickers. So, Rasmussen is a 77. So, yeah, odds are Chandler is just going to be dropped. Didn't plan on taking 2 kickers in the first 2 drafts, but it also didn't look like Chandler was that bad the first time out. That concludes our second draft. And needless to say, I got a lot of work to do in terms of winning you guys over. I know that because we have struggled mightily. So again, McCormack is strong, but in the second round it went downhill. Farrell, Brooks, Jenkins, they're all solid, but they're nothing special. And that's the problem right now. We have a distinct lack of high-end talent. Let's take a look at Roman Stone for the hell of it, who was quick development. Angel Hill, who we were never really considering, quick development as well. Daniel Iglesias, quick development. Gilbert Baggs, who finished, I believe, 5th in voting. Superstar development for Mr. Baggs. Tanner Strickland finished 2nd in voting. Quick development for him. And Xavier Tarrant finished 3rd in voting. Quick development for him. Bradley Turner, superstar development, but 24 years old. Dallas Molinaro, quick development for him. Jack Mouty was up there for voting as well. Star development for him. Is there anybody else? At the very least, you guys can see where these guys were drafted. So, you got that going for you. In case there was someone who you wanted me to check out, I will try to get back to you if at all possible. I guess that is all rounds here. Let's go to the second round. So we know what happened with Griffiths. CJ Scuda. Yeah. That's... Oh, God. Scott Jarrett. I mean, Scuda would have been the guy to take for sure. Damn. Vaughn, Reggie Parker, Barry Gresham. Normal development. Okay. Should have gone for Scuda. Shaun Baker. Only quick development, but still could have been, would have been better than who we took, right? So, that is heartbreaking. Renes, still would have been better than who we took, I suppose. I do suppose. Beekman. I hate life. I know he's 24, and he's not going to have that much time to develop, but just... so rough, man. So rough. Let me look at Ballantyne. He's a 74 normal development. For the record here, Brian Holtz. Yep, we fucked up. The Andrew Luck... Wow. Guys, you had no way of knowing, but, yeah. We could have taken somebody different in the first round and still gotten a great quarterback in the third. Brian Holt has a better development pattern than who we picked up. Ray Tiffin, quick development, still would have been solid. Ellis Henry, quick development, but 24 years old. And Reed Riley at 23, quick development. For the record, in terms of quarterbacks, Brian Holt did finish 2nd in voting. So, overall, not the draft that we were hoping for. We still get a very strong quarterback. We still get some decent additions to the team, but we're not quite there in terms of having these 10 out of 10 drafts. So the team is set. We're sitting at an astonishing 53 overall. Will we find success this season? No, we might win a game, we might draw a game, but we pretty much know what the deal is. Of course, Joey McCormack will be leading the way, him and his star development. Excited to see what he could do running back wise. We still have Jamon Hughes at quick development, 22-year-old, and 80 overall. We have our 2 rookie wide receivers, Marcus Farrell, still at normal development. I don't expect that to change until midseason. And Steven Jenkins sitting at a 73. No members of the offensive line, only 1 member of the defensive line, and we have Devin Walls, who is a quick development for the 22-year-old, but a 67. That is brutal. We have Demetrios Brooks as well. Still normal development. The 23-year-old is a 74. On the right-hand side, Frank King up to an 80. Quick development for the 23-year-old. At corner, Le'Veon Cole still leading the way. Quick development for the 24-year-old. Then at safety, Kyrie Griffith. Kyrie Griffith, the 21-year-old, still normal development. I'm holding out some hope. And Antoine McIntosh, no hope. We did end up cutting Chandler Rasmussen, will be the kicker, with Tootin as the punter. So we are good to go for another season. I'll talk to you guys more than likely at the end of the year so we can just get down to business, get closer to the draft, and get you a look at the prospects that will be available to us in the next draft. We beat the Patriots 17-14. Le'Veon Cole picks up a 3-week injury. Just all the normal happenstance here in Arizona, I suppose. Your Arizona Cardinals are 1-7-1 thanks to a 21-all tie against the New York Giants, in which Griffiths was NFC Defensive Player of the Week. So I guess we have that going for us. What a weird season this has been already. 1 win, 1 draw for your Cardinals this season. We finish at 1-14-1. And just to get the confirmation, indeed, we were the worst team in the NFL. We have another number 1 pick heading our way. Let's do our season recap, shall we, in terms of any high-up awards. Not expecting anything, of course, nor will there be anything. Again, for the AFC awards, we are just going to breeze through. Feel free to pause the video if you want to see, the top 7. But, yeah, considering it's the AFC, doesn't really factor into what we're doing here. I'm not all that concerned. In the NFC, at least, we can look to see if we have anybody, although unlikely. Offensive Rookie of the Year, not bad. Joey McCormack and Marcus Farrell. All right, you all had Jenkins up there, so we're looking good. Defensive Rookie of the Years, Kyrie Griffith was up there, as was Demetrios Brooks. So, okay, Rookie of the Year, we at least have some shouts, which is nice. In terms of running back, nothing doing. Wide receiver, nothing there. Offensive line, obviously we're not even in the running. Defensive line, nobody. Linebacker, nobody. Defensive back, unfortunately nobody. Best kicker, we were 3rd though, with Eric Rasmussen. So we have that going for us at the very least. We do have an upgrade points for some players. McCormack, who's already up to an 84. We're going to make him better in terms of field general, and okay, he's still going to be an 84, but that is all right. So we'll get you a look now. I mean, he's 22, still star development. He is an 84 overall, 13th best quarterback in the league. Obviously, right now, those minuses are due to confidence. View it, if you're more familiar with NHL, as the morale system. So he's still looking pretty damn good, at the very least. Of course, the one negative is knowing that we might have been able to get, an equal quarterback later on, as opposed to taking them in the first round, or opposed to taking him in the first round. But it is what it is at this point, and we will hopefully make the best of it. We'll look at the entire playoff schedule once we get down to the Super Bowl. For now, I want to take a look, as we actually weren't dead last in terms of total offensive yardage. The Vikings were somehow worse. Passing yards, we had the 3rd fewest in the league. Rushing yards, we had the 3rd fewest in the league. We averaged 15 points a game. How the Vikings finished below us, I do not know. I genuinely don't know. Our defense, in terms of total yards allowed, 2nd in the league behind Cincinnati. In terms of passing yards allowed, we weren't even in the top 5. Rushing yards allowed, though, we allowed the most. Only 2 teams allowed over 2,000. We allowed over 2,200. It's ridiculous. 22 sacks on the season as well. Let's get a look at the individual stats, shall we? McCormack, over 3,400 yards, 18 touchdowns, 11 picks. Not completely terrible. Rushing-wise, Jamon Hughes, just under 1,929 yards on the season with 3 touchdowns. Receiving-wise, Farrell at nearly 1,000 yards with 8 touchdowns. Jenkins, 660 yards, 2 touchdowns on 61 receptions. We go to the defensive side of things. Frank King with 116 tackles, 3.5 sacks on the season. Griffith, 68 solo tackles, 93 tackles in total. No sacks on the season, but 3 interceptions. McIntosh, 80 tackles on the year. Brooks, 71. Cole, of course, missed time due to injury. Also had Devin Walls there, who, was a bit disappointing. Rasmussen, though, 20 of 24. Tootin, over 4,000 yards punting. Absolutely brutal. Absolutely brutal. Just to get you a look, though, at what the team is, at least in terms of the overalls on the squad at the moment. You already know McCormack is an 84. You have Jamon Hughes at an 80. Farrell, a 75. And actually here, in terms of development, again, we know with McCormack, he is star development. That's fine. With Jamon Hughes, quick development at 23. Marcus Farrell, quick development at a 75. Steven Jenkins, normal development at a 73. At this point, defensively, we only have Walls on that defensive line. Quick development for the 23-year-old, he is a 68. You have Brooks, who is up to a 74. Quick development for him. King up to an 81, and that is legit. Quick development for him. Le'Veon Cole is an 83, now at 25 years old. And for the safeties, Griffith is a 75. Quick development for him. And at strong safety, Antoine McIntosh. Quick development for the 70 overall. And then again, Rasmussen, a 77. He can at least do the job for us. And Bruce Tootin, the man with the golden leg, because otherwise, how did he not break it, having to punt the ball that many times? We will move forward. We'll see, of course, how the playoffs shake out, as I guess. I mean, here's the thing. Losing our head coach isn't devastating. I didn't even notice the part where it's like, oh, hey, send him an offer. It didn't matter because, I mean, there's literally nothing we could do. Please tell me re-sign doesn't disappear. Shit. Oh, I couldn't remember if we needed a trainer or not, and I don't believe. Please tell me I can go back. Please tell me you're going to let me hire somebody here. Cool, we have a scout, and that's it. So it's going to auto-assign me a coach. It is what it is. I mean, that was my chance to get a coach who actually had training, and I accidentally hit the wrong button, and it absolutely screwed me out of it. It is Cleveland and St. Louis in the Super Bowl, which is hilarious. We'll get a look at the playoff schedule. I have no idea who our coach is going to be moving forward. So in the wild card, it was Cleveland over Jacksonville, Tampa over Carolina, Baltimore over Kansas City, and Seattle over Chicago. You had Houston over Baltimore. The Rams crushed Tampa. Cleveland sneaks by Buffalo, and Washington beats Seattle. Cleveland beats Houston by a field goal, and the Rams beat the Redskins. So there you go. Browns and Rams in the Superb Owl. I'll be very intrigued to see who the hell we end up with as far as a head coach. For the record, scouting-wise, we haven't taken a look at quarterbacks, at running backs, and wide receivers we haven't started in just yet. We're finishing up looking at some tight ends. I've gone a little bit further down the list, and actually Lane David's where it's going to stop. So we will start in now. I'm going to take a look at this one fullback, by the way, just in case. And now it's a matter, oh my God, Raymond Cota is going to be a very, or Spencer Porter, depending on combine results. I have a feeling one of those two will be who we take with the number 1 pick. Hold on, hire staff. So we need a trainer and a head coach. Let's see who we have, even though we missed out early on. So trainer-wise, we'll still try to bring on Dan Winters. And coaching-wise, Shaun Payton. Oh, baby, yes. We need that extra XP so badly. He is one of 2 coaches with it. Matt Nagy, Vance Joseph has expert scouting as well. James Donaldson, Griffin Murphy, of course, the totally not Bill Belichick. Sean McDermott is there as well. Obviously, we're going to go with Shaun Payton or not. It's glitched. Okay. It says sign with Cardinals. Wait, did it sign Shaun Payton for us? I'm going to advance to next week and see if that generic white dude turns to Shaun Payton. Please tell me the game signed Shaun Payton for me. Apparently not. what the hell is even going on? You can't taunt me with the thought of Sean Payton signing here. That's not fair. That's cruel and unusual punishment. Every single player here we are going to be letting go of, I do believe. Indeed. Be dropping all these guys, no problem. And we'll see what happens. I have no idea who the hell our head coach is going to be heading into this next season. Hire staff, let's find out. I guess we're locked out of sending an offer to Sean Payton. Yeah, it won't let me. Cool. So John Harbaugh is there. Sean McDermott, expert scouting. Okay, so Matt Nagy is probably the favorite. Or we go for Griffin Murphy, the totally not Bill Belichick. In fairness, that trade negotiator doesn't matter. So we can go for Matt Nagy, Griffin Murphy, and John Harbaugh had just expert scouting. So yeah, we need someone with that extra XP as well. Let's go for Matt Nagy. You thought I was going to go for the Belichick. This totally not Belichick. You were wrong. Let's see if we can bring on Matt Nagy as our next head coach. And indeed, we did. We replaced one generic white guy with another, so that's good. Let's take a look here at the other wide receiving options. These are the last of this, these are the last few. Hello, Watts Burdine, by the way. And my God, Noah Markham. This could be a good draft for us as long as we don't completely botch it in terms of finding some extra wide receiving depth. Or some extra depth of wide receiver, you should say. So let's continue onward. Again, we'll be ending this episode with getting you guys a look at all the top options and leaving it up to a poll yet again. So let's see who else we have here, as I need to start adding these guys to the short list as we go down the list. So let's keep searching here, as I gotta be honest, man, everyone here is looking pretty good. Depending on the combine results, that's where things will more than likely get interesting. Although we're going to be stopping right about there. So I think let's take a look at the best running back available. Just to see if he ends up slipping. It's Thomas Elgon. I believe we have the one extra week to take a look at him. So we'll see if he slips down the board at all. And if he does, we could debate that because Jamon Hughes isn't going to be the surefire future at running back for us. Couple of quarterbacks as well, but let's be honest, we have our guy. So I think we will continue just to take a look at running backs here. Maybe getting a secondary option might not be the worst thing in the world. Besides, there's a Banks Briggs. Let's take a look at Heineke. Doubt we'll end up with him, of course. Don't really need him. Jason Chase as well. Cannon of an arm. And that is that. So we are good to go in terms of scouting. Only thing left to do is to take a look at what the AI teams did in terms of setting things up. And then we'll get into the info as far as the best players available. So Christian McCaffrey to the Patriots. A couple of big-time free agents. Phillip Rivers to Buffalo at 39 years old. Very interesting to see this many high-rated players on the move. So there you go. A couple of big names. Oh, we're available this year. To the draft we go. And again, now is the time where you're really going to want to pay attention because we have the number one pick. Let's take a look at every player projected to go in the first round. And again, in the description or in the comments below, there will be a poll and you'll be able to vote. So again, quarterbacks, if either of these two fall to like the second or third round, we could explore it just so that we have a decent backup option. But let's be honest, probably not a go-to. Same thing with Thomas Elgon. Where, to be honest, I mean, yeah, for an elusive back, he's going to be pretty damn good. Like I said, Hughes isn't the greatest option, but I don't think you could make the argument to take either Spanos or Elgon in the first round. I think if either fall to the second round, we consider it, though, because both are looking pretty damn good, and I think either of them would be better than Jamon Hughes. Fullback-wise as well, Spencer Saunders we'll consider later on. Here's where it gets interesting. Because I think with Cota or Porter, that's where the decision is ultimately going to be made. I'm going to reorder all this, by the way, off camera or off screen. Raymond Cota, early first rounder, great hands. I mean, solid speed as well. Good vert jump for someone 6'5". Here's the problem. He's 24. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's the type of player that has like star or superstar development, but he's 24. He's going to have less time to improve, whereas Spencer Porter is 22. Solid hands, solid catching in traffic, route running, relatively fast, good vert jump as well at 6'5", decent agility and strength. I think if we had to go for one, it's Spencer Porter, even though you have the A- in catching for Raymond Cota. I think right now, if it was up to me, based off of who I've seen so far, obviously Spencer Porter is the guy. Tight end-wise, we have two guys projected in the first round. P.L. Palmer, who, mid-first round projected, 22 years old, for a blocking tight end. Fairly solid, but is he number one pick worthy? No. We need a guaranteed Gronkowski clone if we were to take someone, and I don't think either of those two are it. But if either fall to the second round, we could be looking okay. Offensive line-wise, we have nobody at left tackle. Left guard, we have two options. Pierce Edebali, who isn't bad. For an agile offensive lineman, he has a solid bench press set too, so not bad. Late first round projected, though. So it's tough because we don't have a single offensive lineman drafted thus far, and that has to change in this draft. Ethan Krenzel, the 23-year-old as well. Also solid, good strength, good agility. No real complaints there. At center, we have Evan Stammer, who, at the 21-year-old, 40 fucking reps on the bench press. The agility is solid as well. Late first round projected. Right guard, we have Curry Potter, who at 24 years old also looks, amazing. He'll have less time to improve, though. And Lester Smart, decent agility, decent strength. Maybe the weakest option, but that's saying something because the other members of the offensive line that are available look decent. And then there's James Martinez, who also looks decent, early first round projected. So right now, do you go wide receiver or do you go with James Martinez? Might go wide receiver because there should be at least one more offensive lineman that falls to the second round. Nobody on the defensive line, at least for the left end. Right end, we have Quadarius Jeffries, the 21-year-old. Block shedding tackle and pursuiter up there. 41 reps on the bench press. Ridiculous speed, solid agility. He could be an absolute monster. There is also Gregory Royal, who's second round projected, but a mid-first rounder in terms of talent, so I don't think we'd take him that early on. Defensive tackle, we have Franklin Marsh out of Ohio State, 42 reps on yield bench press. Another early projection for Mr. Marsh. Becker as well, but he's second round projected, as is Marsh for that matter. So very interesting that Marsh could be worth taking. Early first round talent projected for the second round. Do you wait to see if he falls to try and get a steal? We have Wade Morrow out of Wisconsin at linebacker. Ridiculous speed, solid agility as well. Mid-first round projected. We also have Glenn Douglas out of Miami, who is also just ridiculous. DeAndre Genther as well. 24 years old, still absolutely ridiculous though. And Thomas Claybrooks would be the last linebacker option, which no. Just no. Corners, we have two. Darion Mayer, who is a beast, let's be honest. He is an absolute beast. That is a franchise-level corner. No doubt about it. 6'2", that jumping, that speed, that agility, that is a franchise corner right there. Antoine Graves, also quite strong, but because of that speed, I don't know if he's a true number one guy. He's a shutdown guy for sure. 5'10", fucking 40-inch vertical. That's nuts. But Meyer is more of a sure thing. So we have ourselves a franchise corner, a very strong offensive lineman, a very strong wide receiver option. And you think, though, if we have Meyer and Cole at corner, our defense is shaping up to be great. At safety, Shamir Hutchins, who at 22 is extremely well-rounded. We do have Griffith and McIntosh, but Hutchins is the type of guy that we need. We also have Cecil Hopkins, who is also great at 21 years old. Goddamn, the zone coverage, the man coverage, he's an absolute beast. Pearson Combs as well, also looking pretty good. So we have two phenomenal safeties, a franchise corner from all outside appearances, and a wide receiver in Spencer Porter. You guys have a very tough choice, and thankfully, it's your choice. So again, down in either the comments, the description, or both, there will be a poll with every player who's projected to go in the first round. That is first round talent, and it is a multiple choice. So vote for whoever you would like to see me, see us select, really, because it is your choice. Vote for who you want to be the number one pick in this draft, and thy will be done. That will indeed be the pick. Again, a lot of things to keep in mind, though, in terms of the right timing, knowing that players drop, and not even necessarily like, what do we need? Obviously, it makes sense to avoid taking a quarterback, but sure, while we need help at wide receiver, is it worth passing up on who could be the best player in this draft in terms of a generational corner? That choice is up to you. Thank you guys for watching and supporting this series. I really do appreciate it. Of course, you know the deal though. Support the video and the channel in any way you deem necessary with all the stuff you can do and all the stuff you don't. It's YouTube. You know how it works. Thank you for watching. I'm going to bed. I'll see you guys later.